What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing well today. And since the season is just about to start, I thought it would be fun to go ahead and put together one NFL wide prediction video. I am not somebody who follows the entire NFL equally. I'm not somebody who pays super close attention to all 32 teams. I am here as a Seahawks fan, and I am a Seahawks fan in real life as well. So I think you guys can understand that I'm paying attention to the Seahawks way more than other teams. So don't misunderstand. This is not going to become some recurring thing. I'm not trying to become a sharp here. I'm just offering up how I feel the season will go based off the information that I have and my just general feelings about the way the season will go. So we're going to do this for one video and then probably not come back to it. I can't see any reason why I would. I'm not expecting to nail it or anything like that. I'm not expecting to knock it out of the park with these predictions. Just thought I'd go ahead and toss my hat into the ring with a league-wide prediction video. So let's go down the records here. I have records for every team. I did check to see if the number of wins equaled the number of losses, which is, of course, it has to. So I did check and see that the wins and losses were equaled out. I didn't run this against the exact schedule, though, so I'm aware that these records may be impossible in actuality, but regardless, we're going to go with it. It's more capturing a general feel about how good or bad each team will be than it is nailing the exact record, I feel like. So, with that being said, let's go through here. AFC, starting with the East. Bills go 12-5, Jets go 10-7, Patriots go 9-8, Dolphins go 7-10. I don't know. I'm just feeling kind of a disappointing season from the Dolphins right now. I just been trying to figure out who are going to be the disappointing teams, and I keep kind of coming back to Miami. And I feel like New England's defense is actually going to be good enough for them to be better than people expect. But all around, pretty good division in the AFC East. AFC North, Bengals go 13-4, Steelers go 10-7, Ravens go 9-8. I think they're going to have a little bit of a disappointing year. And Cleveland Browns go 7-10. I'm not really buying that things in Cleveland are going to work out with Watson having a full year. I don't know what Deshaun Watson is anymore, but in that division, I think they get beat up a little bit. But again, no really bad teams in the AFC North. So that's two good divisions to start the AFC. The AFC is going to be difficult to maneuver through. AFC South, the Jaguars 11-6, Titans 7-10, Houston goes 6-11, and the Colts 4-13. So that's kind of the softer division over in the AFC. I couldn't quite commit to the Titans being terrible, but it wouldn't shock me if they were. Like, I got them at 7 wins, but if they won 4 or 5 games, I wouldn't be surprised. They have a really bad offensive line. They may end up playing a really young and unprepared quarterback at some point this year. Henry's at the point where you have to wonder if he's going to be able to keep it going. They got no receivers, so I wouldn't be shocked if that was a little bit of a shift there. And I wouldn't be shocked if the Colts sneak a couple of wins that are surprising because of the Anthony Richardson factor. He is going to have these games where he looks like a superstar. He is going to have a couple games like that. It's just not going to be enough for them to win a lot of games, but it's going to be enough for them to maybe sneak out a few more than the 4 I've given them. AFC West, another really tough division. I'm going for a little bit of a surprise here. I got the Chargers going 13-4. I think this is the year they put it all together, so I'm ready to get hurt again. I'm ready to get hurt again by Brandon Staley and this Chargers organization. But I'm going to say this is the year they put it together. So I'm ready to get hurt again, like I said. I think the Chiefs are still going to be really good, but I think there is going to be a little bit of a downswing here. I think that the loss of Chris Jones for at least the first half of the year, it looks like, hurts. And I think there are just some things that are due to catch up with them. So I'm going to say Kansas City Chiefs lose the division by a game, go 12-5, still make the playoffs, of course. Denver, I got going 8-9, and the Raiders, I got going 5-12. I don't think the Raiders are terrible, but I think in that division, there's just not going to be an opportunity for them to win very many games. So that's a team that might actually have 8 or 9 wins in the AFC South, but will have 5 in the AFC West. And that's the AFC. So my division winners are the Bills, Bengals, Jags, Chargers, And my wildcard teams are the Jets, Steelers, and Chiefs. And everyone else gets left out of the postseason. Okay, now over in the NFC, starting with the East, I got the Eagles running roughshod, 14-3. Cowboys go 11-6. Giants go 9-8. Commanders go 6-11. Wouldn't shock me if the Commanders ended up going like 5-12 instead because their division is so tough. I do feel like there's some real deficiencies on that team, but I'm going to go with 6-11 for now because there are some things I like about that team. There are some things that I think are pretty credible. NFC North, I think this is probably, well, no, I'm going to say the NFC South is probably a little bit worse, but this is a pretty weak division. I think the Lions kind of win it by default by being good at 11-6. Packers, I think, are going to be okay because it always just kind of works out for them. So right now I got them going 8-9. Vikings 7-10. Bears 5-12. Vikings, I kind of struggled with because their defense is so bad and they lost some stuff on offense like Cook and Thielen. But I think that Cousins to Jefferson connection is going to be enough for them to scrape out 7 wins. But honestly, if they ended up winning 5 or 6 games this year instead, I would not be surprised because that defense is that bad. NFC South, another really bad division. I think this is probably the worst division. I think the Saints win it with 10 wins. Falcons 8-9, Panthers 6-11, Buccaneers 5-12. I think the Falcons have a chance to be a little better than this because they are going to have a great rushing attack. They are going to have a great, they are going to have a great offensive line, I would say. There are some things about the Falcons that are interesting, but I am going to hold off on putting them atop a team like the Saints that has problems, but they're a little more comfortable with their quarterback and offensive situation in general, I guess. So that's the NFC South. And then we have the NFC West, Niners 12-5. Oh, how'd that happen? Niners 12-5, Seahawks 11-6, Rams 3-14, Cardinals 3-14. It's going to be hard for the Rams and Cardinals to be this bad because they play each other twice, but I think they can do it. I'm going to say they find a way to do it. Honestly, the Cardinals, if they went 2-15, would not be terribly surprised. But I'm going to err on the side of caution here and say they find a way to back into a couple wins. Remember, the organization may be tanking, but the players are not tanking. The players are going to go out there and try to win games because they're playing for themselves. They're playing for their next contract. They're playing for their next team. So I feel pretty good about all of this. I don't have anything overly shocking. A lot of the same teams make the playoffs. Like in the NFC, I got Eagles, Lions, Saints, Niners, and then the wild cards would be the Seahawks, the Cowboys, and then the Giants would get in. So not too different from last year. Some variation for sure. But that's what I got going for the record. So major awards, MVP, I go Joe Burrow. Offensive Player of the Year, Justin Jefferson. I know he won last year, which might diminish his chances, but I think Justin Jefferson might break the record this year. I think he might have 2,000 receiving yards. I don't know how he doesn't. Honestly, like, they're going to throw him the ball 200 times this year. They have a good quarterback, or at least a quarterback who is able to get him the ball. And the defense is so bad, they're going to have to keep throwing it. They can't run the ball as much as they used to because of Cook. So I think Justin Jefferson repeats as Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, I go Micah Parsons. I think this is his time to have a better season than Bosa, who might be missing some games, by the way, and guys like Watt and Myles Garrett. Offensive Rookie of the Year is tough. I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud. It's going to be tough because he's not going to be on a great team or anything, but I feel like if you're a quarterback and you play every game and you put up decent numbers and you have some good moments and you look competent, you're going to get it. I think that award favors quarterbacks pretty heavily. So I think Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to C.J. Stroud. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson Jr., I think is a pretty slam dunk pick. I can't imagine it being anybody else, really. He's going to put up good numbers on a bad team that will play him a lot. There are going to be a lot of opportunities for Will Anderson to maybe even have double-digit sacks this year, so I can't imagine it being anybody else. Comeback Player of the Year, anybody else need not apply. We all know who is going to win Comeback Player of the Year, Damar Hamlin. All he really has to do is play like one game. He plays like one game, he's going to get it. We all know it. We don't even really need to talk about it. Coach of the year, I feel stupid already, but if the Chargers are going to be this good, then it has to go to Brandon Staley. Like, it's just going to go to Brandon Staley. If the Chargers really do win the division and win 13 games, Staley's going to get it by default, even if they did it in spite of him. So, yeah, I'm going Brandon Staley for Coach of the Year. I'm really ready to get hurt again. And I think the Chargers win the AFC. So, there's going to be a lot of pain later. Well, not really, because, again, I'm not trying to be one of these super NFL gurus. I'm just following the Seahawks 95% of the time. But this is a gamble, I know, but you got to take some gambles here, and I feel like this is the year the Chargers start really putting it together. They started to put it together last year. They had a good year. I think this is the year things really start to go north for them. NFC champion Eagles, Super Bowl champion Eagles. I just think they're the best team by a pretty wide margin. Coming off a year where they made the Super Bowl, they only lost a few things and did a remarkable job replacing the things they lost. So I don't see how it's anybody else. It's got to be the Eagles right now. And that's it. That's my predictions for the 2023 season across the NFL. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you got if you want to. And I will be seeing you guys later on. Again, maybe I'll come back to this at the end of the year to see how close or far away I was. But understand that this is just kind of a one-off thing to look at the entire NFL like this. The channel will not be changing fundamentally. But those are my predictions for the season. See you guys later. Go Hawks.